Guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be reviewing Dune Prophecy Episode 4, Twice Born. So, Twice Born. Um, and we're looking at here Mr. Richard Donnelly, the cinematographer for episodes 3 and 4. Why does Richard Donnelly sound so familiar, right? What has he worked on? I haven't done my research, but I thought we should give him some credit because the show looks so amazing. Dune Prophecy looks awesome. It looks like the Denis Villeneuve uh, Dune high production films. Remember, this is HBO, so HBO has a great deal of money. They could be spending $200, $300 million on this season. Who knows? It looks fantastic. Um, so this is episode 4, Twice Born, no doubt has to be my favorite episode so far. Some people have been saying last week's episode uh, was their favorite. I think it was a great deal more character driven because you got to, know these characters a little bit more, specifically Tula. And no, well, Valia, the Harkonnen family. So in that respect, I can see where they're coming from. But it just, because I'm not fully there pulled in with the Harkonnens, they just aren't the family I'm rooting for. I guess it didn't really matter as much to me, but I understand why some people, from a character driven perspective, and us not being really introduced to anybody in the series yet, and really getting a deep dive into who they are, I can see why people would feel that way. So, Dune Prophecy Episode 4, we're back in the entry of the palace, back where I want to be, back with what's going on with Desmond Hart, right? And right away, without much delay, we get the Princess Inez, right? Just very find it very distasteful how her father, the emperor, is treating Desmond Hart. He has now come into a place in the Imperium, and she doesn't like it because she knows he's responsible for killing the Richezzi's boy, and that he's behind the dismissal of the Bene Gesserit or the Sisterhood and so on. And remember, she wanted to be a part of the Bene Gesserit, the Sisterhood. And now, because of the rift between the Sisterhood and the Palace, that's not going to happen. They need a united front. They need her to stay on Seleucus Secundus and support the family. The princess, of course, as we got to see, she's trying to create subterfuge within the family. She wants to bring Desmond Hart down, and if it means exposing her family as part of the plot, so be it. So she's enlisting the help of her brother Constantine, who has never stood up to the emperor and putting him in this situation. Now, I really liked this episode. It was with the how Desmond Hart handles his accusation by the princess, right? He doesn't run from it. This is something that is interesting with the Desmond Hart character. When you catch him, he's caught. Like, it's not like Game of Thrones little finger type stuff trying to wiggle out. He's pretty, but he's caught. But then he has reasonings behind why he does what he does. He just relays back to the Orange Catholic Bible, I think it's called. And if you don't know what that is, that's from the Dune books, and it details everything about the thinking machines and what shouldn't be allowed in humanity going forward, with all of the problems that happens or could happen with artificial intelligence, as we kind of in our own world think about these dangers It happens here in the Dune series, and I don't know if they refer to the Orange Catholic Bible. I think they do. I think they did do it on one episode. I could be wrong. But basically, it says that it's punishable by death to have these thinking machines around, and the Richese's boy, he had that, and so on a technicality, Desmond Hart is able to avoid the persecution of the courts of the lands rat their lands rats meeting, right? But in addition to that, he's able to foil the plot that Kieran Atreides was part of, in which they were going to use these thinking machines to kill members of the lands rats. Right? Remember, these are these noblemen living off the fat of the land, consuming all the spice at the expense of the common people. Right? And so Kieran Atreides, with the newfound power Desmond Hart wields from the Imperium, he's able to stomp out all of these would-be plotters to get rid of the members of the Lands Rat. Now, uh, of course, we had a kind of was left with Valia going back to her Harkonnen family to get their help after she had been kicked out of the palace. And we learned that she had this elaborate plot where she was going to allow the Kieran Atreides to go on with the plot. And what was going to happen was she was going to kill him upon releasing the robot, right, the thinking machine to kill the members of the Landsrat, and in doing so, be held as a hero by the Imperium, right, for saving the Emperor's life. So Desmond Hart, he beats Valia to the punch, and her plan goes out the window. Now, of course, what she had done was she had basically becoming a true sayer of the Harkonnen Baron, right? Um, Howland, I believe his name is. Am I saying it right? Howland. I'm trying to get better with these names. I believe it's Howland or something like that. But she kind of is using him, as we got to see. It was kind of strange how she gets him, thinking he can, be represent the family at the Lands Rat with her now, the power of the Reverend Mother as his true sayer. But it's all a plan for Valia to kind of get him cased up. What she's doing is she wants him to accuse the Emperor of killing the Richese's boy, right? And so putting him on the hot seat, right? And she kind of blindsides him with it in a very clever way. But he's too far in now. He has to go all the way with it. I thought that was funny. And but his uncle was right. Robert Baratheon was right. The uncle, who's head of the family, so to speak, is basically letting his nephew know, hey, she's gonna use you, and nothing's good gonna come of it, right? She doesn't care. She only wants to basically get revenge, right, and bring the Harkonnens to power, no matter what the cost, even at your expense or even at this family's expense, right? So and of course, as we got to see the part what can you say? What can you do? Robert Baratheon meets his end, right? He's trying to basically get to his inhaler, and she's not allowing him to get it, right? And was there a similar scene to that earlier? I thought there was a similar scene with a character trying to get to their hero. I might be having some kind of deja vu, but anyway, uh, he does end up dying in this episode. And I can say this, as much as I like Mark Addy, he's played the Uncle Harkonnen there. As much as I like him, he was very much like Robert Baratheon in that, right? It was like Robert Baratheon made it to the Dune world. I don't know if that was a conscious effort or if that's just because I've seen Mark Addy in other things, and so he doesn't have to sound like Robert Baratheon. I've seen him act in other roles where he doesn't. He has quite a bit of range. And so I'm trying to figure out why was this character so much like Robert Baratheon? Was that kind of a callback? Was he trying to do that? I don't know, but I was kind of thinking like it's probably going to take me out if he's in several more episodes. Um, with that kind of Robert Baratheon persona. So they go ahead and kill him, get him off the show. I still thought he did a great job. I liked his character and I liked him being in it. But they had to get rid of him. They get rid of him. They got rid of him in this episode. They Sean Beaned them. They Ned Starked them, and so he won't be coming back. Of course, with Value too, what was very interesting, we got to see uh, her acolyte, her acolyte, uh, who, as part of the Dune novels, is actually a face dancer, I believe they're called. Now, um, I'm not sure uh, if she was. Yeah, I was always wondering. I was like, okay, what's going on with her, right? Why does Valia favor her so much? And especially at the beginning of the episode when she was saying, I won't do this anymore. She said, I said that I would never do that again. So she's talking about face dancing, right? The changing her form. And so she's part of that, the species in the Dune novels. I don't think it's the Tailaxu, right? The Tailaxu is who the people we got to see on the dock who gave Karen Atreides the thinker machine. This might be another species of aliens in the Dune universe, but apparently she's one of these uh, face dancers, right? Who joined the sisterhood. So I don't quite understand what that's all about. I think in the novels there is some of that going on, right? These people, there are what you call face dancers, and I haven't read all the novels, so I'm not that familiar with them. But I believe some try to assassinate Paul Atreides in the Dune novels and so on, because of course they could change their form and disguise themselves and whatnot. So they're going forward to do something for Value, right? That they can change their form, right? So of course they're going to be able to do a lot with that ability. And so we find out that's why Value is holding on to this acolyte and in need of her services, as it were. Of course, we also got Lila awakening, right? We got Lila waking up. She wasn't dead. And this weird thing happens where uh, it appears to be an acolyte being killed. Uh, looks like by Tula. Looks like Tula tries to. I'm assuming, is that real? Did that really happen? But in the midst of that, of her discovering Lila, awakening, and that Tula's doing all this illegal stuff with the machines down there. It looks like Tula kills her, and it appeared. I thought it was a vision. There was visions in the beginning, but apparently, I think this may have been real. And so Lila wakes up, and Lila can now has more clearer visions on uh, what is this being that they keep seeing as they're doing the chants and sketching into the future. And some people are believing this to be a character from the Dune novels, the Leto, the God Emperor, right? This is Paul Atreides' son, who actually becomes a sandworm, right, with like infinite godlike powers as he continues the path, right? I think they call it the golden path or something like that. It is the path that even Paul Atreides didn't want to take because he didn't want to become a sandworm. But they're able to see this figure looking back at them, and whereas some people believe it is the God Emperor because of the machine-like noise that's being made every time they open their blue eyes. They think it might be a thinking machine uh, by the name of Omnibus, right? And he's from the Butlerian Jihad, I believe. He's some kind of ancient machine, human hybrid thing. And I don't know a whole lot about that, but some believe that's a misdirect. That is not the God Emperor Leto, but it is Omnibus. So it's again, this is my favorite episode so far in the series. There's only two more, so they did step it up. And interesting enough, I did say earlier that some people were saying by episode 4 it gets good, and I see why they said that because episode 4 to me was the best episode so far. Two more. I hope they're as good as this one. If they can keep the pace with this, I think they'll do fine. Um, and so that's what we're looking at this week. Twice born, right? So Desmond Hart escapes, all of his accusations. He kills the Lands Rat with this ability he has, but you can tell it's taking a toll on him. I think some people believe he's a Gola, right? And we talked a little bit about that last week. This kind of bioengineered cloned human, right? Or rather, like a cloned human, right? That he really died at the hands of the sandworms. Nobody can. And then once you're a Gola, it would appear they can add technology to you. They could do various things. So he could. He's definitely not a human. He's definitely been altered in some way. So that's going to be interesting as they get into exactly what he is. As Valia Harkonnen said, it is best that they don't do anything until they learn more about who he is and his abilities, right? But anyway, I think that's going to be the review this week. Again, a good episode. Um, the best so far. I'm looking forward to what episode 5 is going to be like as we get ready to wrap this up. Dune Prophecy. Anyway, tell me what you all thought. What's been your favorite episode? Do you like the Dune Prophecy series? Until next time, as always, remember to take care of yourselves and each other.